Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be taking you along with me as I fly from New Haven to Raleigh, North Carolina. My little sister goes to school down in North Carolina, so I'm gonna help her move in and just spend some time with her for a few days. And I decided to vlog my experience flying Avelo Airlines. This isn't my first time flying Avelo. I flew them a handful of times before, but I always get asked like about my experience, how I like Avelo, because it's a fairly new airline. Well, it's fairly new to the East Coast. They've been on the West Coast for a cool minute, but they're fairly new to the East Coast, fairly new to Connecticut, and they got a handful of destinations added. So I'm gonna just take y'all along with me and then like probably insert a video giving my full review at the end. So yeah, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go because I'm low-key a little late to the airport. So yeah.
Tell me what to do.
Okay.
Tell me what to do.
Okay.
Tell me what to do. All I know is hit the mall to see what damage I could do.
Okay.
Deep down, I think about you all day, mommy. I know I'm a pit bull, but darling, mommy, I just wanna take you on a holiday, mommy. Say what's on your mind, I'ma call away, mommy. Come and rescue me. Whoa. Take me out the club, take me out the trap, take me off the mark, take me off the map. I'm tryna hit the group chat and tell them it's a come and rescue me. Take me out the club, take me.
Somehow I got a whole row to myself, emergency row, and I love this for me.
Trap, take me off the market, take me off the map. I'm tryna hit the group chat and tell them it's all. I don't really know how to confess my love. Really seem like I wanna test my love for you. Don't know how to express my love. That's why American Express.
So I just had a good experience with my flight from New Haven to Raleigh. It was very short, quick and easy. And I got a whole emergency row to myself, so love that for me. But yeah, I also have always had a good experience with Avelo. There was never a time where I was unhappy or I just wasn't satisfied. And I flew them plenty of times. I flew them to Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Chicago. Like, I flew a lot with them, just because I love how they offer affordable travel. Like, I like to save my money when I travel. I'd rather spend my money at the destination than spend it trying to get there. So that's why I like Avelo. And most of the destinations are not that long of a flight. It's like a short hour and a half, 2 hours. So I really can't complain much with that. But I think it's important for people to know and understand that Avelo is a budget-friendly airline. I like to compare it to a high-class Spirit or Frontier in a way. Like, they're all budget-friendly airlines, and they all kind of have like a la carte add-on service. And what that means is when you purchase your ticket, you are only purchasing your ticket for your seat and your personal item. So a personal item could be a backpack, a purse, or a laptop bag. Those small items. Anything additional is an extra fee. So for example, you have to pay to select your seat. If you don't want to pay to select your seat, they'll just give you a random seat. And my hack with that is just, I try to be the last person to check in and just somehow get lucky that they put me in a window seat. And if not, I ask the gate agent. Sometimes a lot of people are nice and they will upgrade you for free when you just ask, because closed mouths don't get fed. So I sometimes just ask like, hey, like, do you have any open window seats that you can just upgrade me to? And for the most part, it's worked where I haven't had to pay. That's exactly what I did with that emergency row. But anyways, back to that, back to the a la carte. So you have to pay for the seat selection. You have to pay for a carry-on bag. You have to pay for a check bag. And then they have additional a la carte. So like if you wanted to bring a pet, all of that good stuff is a la carte, which is pretty much with any airline, not just Avelo. And then on top of that, there are no in-flight services. So you don't get offered drinks and beverages like you would do another airline. They don't have Wi-Fi included. And any of the planes I have been on do not have USB cords or outlets available. They don't offer that. And I know that could be a bummer to some people, but I like to just bring my portable charger because I know that there's no outlets, so that kind of solves my problem there. And I highly recommend anyone who's traveling to always invest into a portable charger, and just bring that. Like, since there's no outlets on the plane, you can bring your own snacks and beverages. Just make sure that they're unopened before you get through TSA. And on top of that, Tweed has a local bakery, G Cafe, where you can purchase food prior to getting on your flight, and you can just bring it on your flight. So if you're hungry and that thirsty, just purchase food from G Cafe. But Avelo does offer water. They do have water bottles for those who need it. You just have to ask. They won't come down the aisle and pass out water. It's more so of you asking the flight attendant. So yeah, let's see. I have talking points on my phone just because I didn't want to forget anything. With the personal item, whenever I fly Avelo Airlines, everyone always asks me, like, okay, like, were they sticklers with the personal item? And I have a travel backpack. I'll like insert a video right here, an example of like me packing it. But I have a travel backpack which fits the requirement. However, sometimes when I can't fit things into the book bag, I would just clip it on. And I have been stopped before and asked, like, okay, we need you to put this in the book bag, or like, this item, you need to do something with this. And I've only been stopped, I think that was like once or twice, where they just made me unclip my purse and either stuff it in the bag or find a way to do something with it. But other than that, I think they're pretty much stickers. Like, they just follow their policy. They also are able to tell based on your boarding group. I don't know the exact order, so don't quote me, but for example, boarding groups 1 and 2 all have carry-on items that they paid for. So if you're in boarding group 1 or 2 and they see a carry-on item, they're not going to question you. But like, if you're in groups 3 or 4 and you have a carry-on item, they might question you because when you purchased your ticket and added the carry-on, it would have placed you in groups 1 and 2. I peeped that they did that, and I noticed that they do that just because it helps board the plane faster. So that's kind of like another thing to know, I guess, if you're trying to get away with the carry-on. But I don't recommend that. Just be prepared to like pay for it if you do try that, or just pay ahead of time on the website. 9 times out of 10, it's not that bad. It's like 30, 35 for a carry-on. Don't quote me, I may be wrong, but it's not that bad, I guess. For me, in my opinion, if my ticket is already cheap, I don't mind paying that extra $35. Avelo also always has a sale. I always book my flights on sale. They like always have a 50% off flight going. And I love that because I always get my flights for like $45 one way. And who doesn't love a good sale? So for example, my flight that I just took from New Haven to Raleigh was $41.51. Now, it was originally $89.46. Like, I'm going to be transparent with y'all. It was originally $89.46, but I had $47.95 in flight credit, which then brought it down to the $41. But even then, the $89 flight isn't bad, and I bought my flight 2 weeks before I was leaving. So like, getting an $89 flight within 2 weeks of leaving isn't bad. And it was also during their, I think it was during their 50% off sale. But another thing that I've done in the past when looking for cheap flights is I shop during the sale and I look on their low fare calendar, and kind of just make whatever days I want to go flexible according to when they have a sale. Because you'll notice, like, they've had flights for $29, and if I was available those days, I would definitely hop on that flight for $29 there and back for sure. But that's one hack that I like to do. Just look at the low fare calendar while you're trying to figure out what dates you want to take your vacation or what dates you want to go away, because that's going to be the easiest and when you're going to save your money. Okay, well, that wraps up my review. I hope I answered any questions you may have, but if you have any additional questions or would like to know more about my experience flying Avelo or just Avelo in general, I guess, don't hesitate to drop a comment and I'll get back to you. But yeah, overall, I highly recommend Avelo. It's a great budget-friendly airline, and it's super convenient to those who live by small airports and don't want to drive 2-3 hours to larger airports. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video, and I will see y'all.